First question comes from Alyssa on Facebook, and Alyssa asks, is it normal to take less for a contract than what you were previously making before? My recruiter did tell me it is normal to, when you're traveling, to sometimes take less.
Cool. Thanks for the question. So your recruiter is actually completely correct. Yes. It is very normal for your pay to fluctuate. Sometimes it'll be higher. Sometimes it will be lower. What it is not dependent on is your experience or how long you've been traveling. What it is dependent on is just purely what is that facility paying for the jobs. We'll just quickly do big picture. The way we get paid as travelers is through the bill rate. The bill rate is what the facility or the hospital is paying the staffing agency for every hour we work. That bill rate has to be divided between the staffing agency to run their business and make profits, and then we get a pay package from that same bill rate. Like, for example, if you're traveling to San Francisco, the bill rates are very high in San Francisco. You are going to get paid more, and you're also going to pay more to live there. Then if you go to North Carolina or something like that, the bill rates are going to be less than that. So you'll get paid less. So it depends on the location. It also just literally depends on the facility. There could be hospitals across the street from each other or across town that have different bill rates. And so you're going to be paid based on what the facility is willing to pay to have a traveler come in.
Totally.
That means that a new grad can actually get paid amazing money, way more than someone with a ton of experience, because they just happened to hit it right at the time when the supply and demand was that they had to pay a higher bill rate to attract anybody. So we can remember during COVID, supply and demand had it where there were not enough nurses, not enough people to work, and tons of jobs. And so with that, the bill rates went super high. And nurses in particular made a ton of money. Therapists at the beginning had no jobs at all because the outpatient services were canceled during that time. And then towards the end of the pandemic, when all of those elective surgeries came back, suddenly the supply and demand switched, and the PTs and the SLPs and the OTs were getting paid higher. And so it's more of a fluctuation based on supply and demand of how many people they can find to work for a certain amount of money. It's not dependent on how many contracts have I taken. I should get a raise each time, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, travel healthcare is a marketplace, right? There's buyers and sellers, and prices fluctuate all the time. And to everything that you just said, right, the supply and demand, the location, it's totally dependent versus a normal career path. You think the more I work, I should get a raise in the next time. And you should, right? That's how you make money is you progress throughout your career and you get a raise. Travel healthcare is a marketplace, right? So depending on all the factors that you just said, your pay can be completely different on your next assignment.
Yep. And I think the one thing that I'll add to this that's interesting is that a lot of times as new grads, recruiters will tell the new grad, because you're a new grad, we can't pay you as much. The pay is not as high. There is some truth and some lie to that. So on one hand, the bill rate is the bill rate. And so if them as a company are holding money back so they can keep more because they feel like you're either riskier or they can just get away with it because you're a new grad, that's not right. But there is some truth to it where maybe the facility will actually tell them, I will pay a higher bill rate, but if you bring me a new grad or someone with less experience, I will pay you a lower bill rate. So there is sometimes that it's actually true, especially with direct contracts where there's more negotiation allowed versus VMS jobs that are more of like a set rate for anyone that comes in. So a lot of times it's true, a lot of times it's not true. And I would just, if you're curious, if you're a newer traveler, just ask your recruiter straight up. Be like, why is it different? Is the bill rate different? Is there a reason? Because typically in travel healthcare, we all get paid based on the bill rate, not based on our experience. And even by asking that question, the recruiter will realize, oh, this person understands the industry. I better have a good explanation why I'm telling them that they have to get paid less.
Yeah, and you can actually double check it too. We have a really cool tool called the pay comparison tool, and you go to nomadicare.com/compare, and you can actually put in an offer that you receive from a recruiter, the location, the setting that it's in, and you can see how it compares. And so it's an easy way, even if you're taking less money on your next assignment, you can see if you're still getting paid fair based on the supply, demand, location, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yep.
You literally just put it in and it'll tell you, oh, you're getting paid 13% more than the average. Oh, you're getting paid 7% less than the average. and it'll give you a good ballpark.
Yeah, and you can take that data back to your recruiter and be like, hey, I'm actually getting paid 5% below the average. What can we do to at least get me to average pay for this location, for my specialty, all that stuff?
Yeah.
And I mean, 5% could be hundreds of dollars a week times 13 weeks. This is an extra $1,000 by just using a tool on our website and then talking to your recruiter.
Totally.
So,
it gives you data to go back to your recruiter. And that tool is real time, meaning it's not just like we put it in once, because the market changes. What the rates were 6 months ago are different than they are today. And
point.
the tool keeps up with the real trends today.
Awesome. Great question.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to meet you, hello. Never been here before, but I feel like I'm home. Yeah, 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 yeah. Put my feet on the road, meet me over the coast. We got places to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.